Video for the two-step and multi-step inequalities worksheet. Let's go ahead and get started with problem number 1. So the entire side is being divided by 4. When the entire side is being divided by a number, I can multiply that to both sides and get 9 plus m is less than 8. All right, now I've got constants on both sides. I want to move it away from the variable, so I'll do that by subtracting 9. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. And so I get an answer of m is less than -1. But how do we double check this? Well, normally we would just plug -1 back in, but that's not what this is saying. It's saying that m is a number less than -1. So I have to pick a number such as m equals, well, let's pick -10. That's a number that's well less than -1. And let's see what happens when I plug m equals -10 in. So 9 plus a -10 divided by 4 is less than 2. That becomes a -1, so 9 minus 10 is a -1, so -1 over 4 is less than 2, or -0.25 is less than 2. This is definitely a true statement. That's a good sign that we did this right. It's not foolproof, but it does tell us that at least this inequality is facing the correct direction. All right, let's look at problem number 5 here. Again, the whole side is being divided by a number, so I can multiply by that number to send it to the other side and get closer to isolating my variable, but this time I multiplied by a -3. That's a little bit different. Whenever I multiply or divide by a negative, you have to flip the direction of the inequality. So I get b minus 5 is now less than -21. All right, let's add 5 to both sides. We get b is less than -16. That's our answer. But what would be a good number to double check with? Maybe something like b equals -19. Again, if I plug that in there, that would be a true statement. The inequality always faces towards the smaller of two negatives. Let's see what happens when I plug it in. So -19 minus 5 divided by -3 is greater than 7. -19 minus 5 is going to be -24 over -3 is greater than 7, or 8 is greater than 7, and that is indeed a true statement. 8 is bigger than 7. All right, let's look at number 6 real quick. So I'll start with the constants that are on both sides, adding 10 to both sides to cancel that out, and I get -5m is less than -50. Divide both sides by -5. And again, I divided this time by a negative. All that matters is that the step is negative, and that means flip the direction of the inequality. Negative divided by negative is a positive. All right, what's a good number bigger than 10 to double check with? Well, maybe 11. All right, let's plug that in. So -5 times 11 minus 10 is less than -60. -55 minus 10 is less than -60. -65 is less than -60, and that is true. It is facing towards the smaller negative. Okay, let's look at one on the back side, maybe one of these ones with distribution, like 22. So a number in front of a set of parentheses, we want to distribute that, and it happens twice here. So draw these arrows showing that we're going to multiply, and I get 14v minus 7 plus 7 times 1 is 7. 7 times -4v is minus 28v is greater than. And because this is on the other side, I can do this step in this first step here where I combine these like terms. -3v and -3v becomes a -6v. All right, let's keep going with combining like terms. The 14v and the -28v, they can combine to be a -14v. And the 7 and the -7, they combine, but they exactly cancel each other out, so I'll just cross them out. So -14v is greater than -6v. Let's move the smaller one. I'll add 14v to both sides. I have to leave something behind on the left here, so I'll leave a 0, which is greater than 8v. Divide both sides by 8. I get 0 is greater than v. But I like to switch that around to the variables on the left. V is less than 0. And we can double check with any number less than 0, like v equals -1. Let's just finish that up real quick. and then we'll call it good. So 7 times 2 times negative 1 minus 1 plus 7 times 1 minus 4 times negative 1 is greater than negative 3 times negative 1 minus 3 times negative 1. All right, you got to do the most inside parentheses first. So we got 7 times 2 times negative 1 is a negative 2 minus 1 plus 7 times 1 plus 4. Negative times a negative is a positive. It's greater than 3 plus 3. Let's go ahead, and we don't need to distribute here because these are like terms. Just finish this up. 7 times a negative 3 plus 7 times a 5 is greater than 6. Negative 21 plus 35 is greater than 6. And what do we get? That's 14 is greater than 6. That's a true statement. So it's a good sign that we did this one right. Let's check the answer key real quick. Yep, V is less than 0. Answer key always at the end of these documents. All right, we'll call that good for this classwork help video. Have a good rest of your day.